everyone. This is speech number 3, and I'm Brooke Baez. Do you know somebody that has died from drunk driving? You know, you go to the bar and you just say it's one drink, right? And then you're just going to drive home. Many people say that, and more Americans have been killed in alcohol-related car accidents than they have been in the U.S. wars. I know that is difficult to believe. Facts from the National Traffic Safety Administration prove that the alcohol-related accidents take the life of someone every 30 minutes. That is double the time than a regular car accident. People are injured by drunk drivers every 2 minutes. According to Little R, every state defines underage alcohol use. The federal government has pressured individual states since 1984 to establish 21 years of age as a minimum legal age for possession or purchase of alcohol beverages. According to Andrews, blood alcohol content, or BAC, also called blood alcohol concentration, blood ethanol concentration, or blood alcohol level, is most commonly used as a metric of alcohol intoxication for legal or medical purposes. Alcohol-related traffic crashes are defined by the National Traffic Safety Administration as alcohol-related if either the driver or a non-motorist had a measurable or estimated BAC of 0.01 or above. If you are under the age of 21, the zero tolerance law comes into play. According to zero tolerance, the zero tolerance law is when a person under the age of 21 has any amount of alcohol in their system. The definition of driving under the influence stays the same throughout the country for unification. According to the National Highway of Traffic Violations and Ethnic Differences in Teenage Driving After Drinking, in 2012, people between the ages of 16 to 20 involved in fatal accident related to alcohol rose 3.9% from 2011. Among the 21 to 34 age group, the percent rose 0.07. The rest of the age groups were decreased. Alcohol-related crashes are the leading cause of deaths for young Americans between the ages of 16 and 24. Teenagers are most likely to end up in an alcohol-related accident. Most accidents caused by drunk drivers, the other person involved can also die. It's important to understand because if you end up drinking and driving, you're putting everybody's life at the line that's driving. There have been a few attempts to change the law to make drunk driving more preventable. According to tougher laws decrease drunk driving, in May 2013, the National Transportation Safety Board recommended that all 50 states adopt a new blood alcohol content cutoff of 0.05 compared to the 0.08. That is currently the books right now and is enforced by law enforcement and the courts for prosecuting. The safety board said that lowering the rate to 0.05 would save about 500 to 800 lives annually. Another way people have tried to stop drunk drivers is by having sorority checks on the road. Sorority checks is a roadblock set up by law enforcement officers to detect and deter impaired driving in locations where there is high risk of crashes. At checkpoints, multiple law enforcement officers funnel all traffic into a controlled area and perform brief interviews that are about 10 to 30 seconds long. The drivers then, if they are determined if they are affected by alcohol or any other substances. If the interviewing officer suspects impairment, the officer directs the driver out of the flow of traffic to another officer. This would help lower the rate of drunk driving on roads because drivers will be more aware of what they are drinking so they don't get charged with a DUI. A DUI is driving under the influence. This is a crime of driving a motor vehicle while impaired by alcohol or other drugs to a level that renders the driver's incapability of operating a motor vehicle safely. When charged with DUI, you have to go to court and see a judge to see if you are guilty or not. Preventing the act of drunk driving is difficult since law enforcement would have to prevent an act of drinking and monitor who is coming in and out of bars and establishments. It would require a pretty broad network that includes the bar workers keeping tabs and taking down car plates, and those bar workers having regular communication with law enforcement to catch drunk drivers on the move. As far as stopping it before it happens, that is almost impossible. Bars can't force patrons to take a cab. They can offer to call a cab for the patron and probably work something out with the taxi companies to cut the prices down a little bit to ensure that everybody gets home safely. But again, this would require a network for it to work. I know that it is possible to decrease death rates by drunk drivers. It's just finding a way. I believe that to decrease the rate of deaths affected by drunk drivers can be done in many ways. First, if you know you're going to go out drinking, bring a designated driver with you. A designated driver is somebody that goes along with you that isn't drinking that night. They go along and just want to take you home after. Another way to decrease drunk driving is by having a breathalyzer in every car. The breathalyzer would help because to start your car, you would have to blow into the breathalyzer and blow a 0.08 or lower. The last way that I think is the best way is to have more checkpoints. By having more checkpoints, people would now know that driving under the influence is unacceptable and they could possibly go to jail. If we come together as a community, I think we can make a change in people's lives. Thank you very much.